Good afternoon, YouTube. I'd like to talk about some OBD conversions today. But before I get into that, I would like to note that it's the time of the year we're going to start picking up on our projects. An amazing time of the year. I live down south and where it's hot, and it's probably 60 degrees at noon, and I'm just loving it. It's the time of the year you're going to start working on stuff again. And another funny laugh I got is I've already actually took this video one time, but for whatever reason I set my phone to time lapse. So whenever I went to actually review my video before posting it, it was just a time lapse. So that's great. But anyway, I would like to help y'all figure out OBD conversions, because I'm on a ton of Facebook groups and whatnot, and there's a lot of people that resort to jumper harnesses and just overall don't really know what's electronically going on with their engine. I'm here to help in a way that means I'm not very electronically inclined. So what I'm telling you in this video is going to help you if you're likewise, you don't really do any wiring or anything like that. I suck at wiring. I only wire if I really have to, and that's usually on like a lawnmower or something. I try not to touch any wiring on vehicles at all. Now, I'm going to help you figure out how to OBD convert, and in this particular video I'm going to be talking about EFs, because today, as I explain it, I'm not very good in front of the camera, so it's hard to get into very descriptive detail, but this is going to be easier because it's easier to forward date an OBD0 car to OBD1 than it is to backdate an OBD2 car to OBD1. And I'm going to get into that later when I get more comfortable, because by then I should be working on the EL in the garage, and it's obviously OBD2, and it's converted down to OBD1 itself as well. But when you start on your build, you shouldn't really set yourself up for failure. And by that I mean, I see people buying the wrong distributors, and then they'll buy a jumper harness to make it physically plug in, and then you still might have the wrong distributor, and then you're asking 14 Facebook groups for some help. So basically what this video boils down into is planning. So with this EF, what the first thing you ever want to figure out with your engine swap is what engine management you want to go with or have available to you. So this has an OBD1 P28 ECU. It has a Hondata installed, but that's kind of besides the point. The point is it's OBD1 and it's VTEC. So with that, I have the option of running VTEC D and B series with my chipped ECU, or F series, H series, whatever. Now, by the time you pick out your ECU, you probably have an engine in mind, whether you're picking something out more specific, but you'll know D series, B series, F series, you'll know what you want to end up with, right? So by then, you don't end up with the engine yet, or maybe you already have it. You want to pick out your tuck harness next. And I really feel a strong way about tuck harnesses, because these cars at this point are 35, 40 years old, man. The stock wiring, whether people have cut into it or not, is just getting to a point where it's old. I mean, it's old, it's ugly, connectors are broken. Like, you need to invest in a good tuck harness. If you want a good build, you'll invest the little bit of money. Tuck harnesses are not really that expensive anymore. I got this professionally hand-built tuck harness from Versatile Wiring LLC for, I think, $450. That is not expensive for what you're getting. But you pick out your ECU, and then you pick out your tuck harness. Now, because you have these two things locked in, you force yourself to buy the right products for your engine accessories, right? So by this point, you can buy your engine. You have your harness, you can buy your engine, but you need to have the correct accessories. If you want to have a good swap, you'll do it correctly the first time. So like I said, there's no jumper harnesses, there's not a single splice, a single crimp, or anything in this bay, because with this B16, I looked up what OBD1 cars, 92 to 95, come with a B16. In the US, your answer comes back to a B16A3 which is a 94, 95 model Del Sol. Now, when you're looking up parts like this, I highly recommend not doing an early or late model year. So if you're looking up 92 parts, somebody might accidentally send you OBD-O stuff. Or if you buy 95 parts, somebody might accidentally send you OBD2 stuff, because I believe the B16A3 was made until like 97 or something. I think there's OBD2 versions of it. So I was shopping for a 94 because I'm making sure I get the right parts. 94 model Del Sol VTEC B16A3 distributor, the correct injectors, the correct alternator, the correct O2 sensor, and the correct IAC. I only mention IAC because people have so many problems with it. There's a couple different variations of IACs. Just make sure you have the right one for your manifold. So when you're picking out manifolds, I can run on a B16. I can run any B16 manifold, and you can also run stock Type R manifolds. I personally chose the EM1 P30 manifold, not the Del Sol P30, but the EM1 P30, because it's been dyno proven since like 2005 that out of all the manifolds, this one has the best low to mid range. For me, it's a sedan. It's a little heavier. It's got a B16 in it. Probably needs that little bit of mid range. So that's what it's got. Paired up to a 70 mil throttle body, but that doesn't really make any kind of difference OBD wise. But like I said, make sure your accessories are correct to the car you're shopping for, and make sure you stay consistent with the car you're shopping for. So if you got a non-VTEC build, OBD1 LS swap, you need to make sure that's what you're getting. 94 Integra P18 V1 stuff. Or if you got a GSR swap, you need to be buying 94 GSR stuff for the engine. You don't think about the OBD1 conversion or the EF at that point. You think about what car it belongs to, because when you matched your ECU and your wiring harness up to that, that's what you set yourself up for. But that's really the talk about the OBD conversion I wanted to have with all of you. And I really hope you guys have a great day. And the builds are really coming along. Well, mine's not, but this one is. We got a first fire off of this thing yesterday. It was amazing. I didn't have a lot of hope for this B16 because when we got it, it was completely stripped. It was missing throttle buddy, IAC, it was missing injectors, fuel rail, distributor, it was missing the VTEC solenoid, the crank pulley was gone. Everything was gone off of this long block, so I figured it was junk. I got it to spin by hand, but I still wasn't very confident until we got it to start yesterday. With that being said, we'll actually proceed with putting a new fuel pump in this thing, because we did get this thing to key on and show some life yesterday, but we couldn't actually get the fuel pump to come on. What we did about that was we changed the main relay from my EF to this one. That didn't do anything. We also changed all of the corresponding fuses. When I tell you every fuse in both fuse boxes are brand spanking new, they are. So we're actually getting signal to the fuel pump, but we're not getting any power. So I think the fuel pump might just be shot. But yeah, that's what's next on this build. We're gonna drop the fuel tank out of this thing. It's been sitting since 2015. So what we're gonna do about that is we're gonna swap fuel tanks out of the parts car I used to have, and that's how we're actually gonna get around that, is by just simply swapping fuel tanks. And then we're gonna put a new Walbro fuel pump in it as well, and that should supply everything this thing needs for a pretty good long time to come. Past that, it's pretty much complete. We got the first fire, it just needs fuel now. And then the only other thing it needs is we got to keep proceeding on the spindle swap. But the only thing I'm missing for my spindle swap is a lower ball joint, which is in the mail and coming, and I keep forgetting to order EX calipers. But I already have some Brembo rotors and pads for an EX model, so those are coming. We'll probably end up needing new tie rods. These things are very crusty. And then we actually have some coilovers and wheels for this thing, so stay tuned on that, because this thing will be, it's not gonna be dumped, but it's gonna be lowered on some coilovers, B16A action, and some meshy wheels. It'll be a cool little rig. Anyway, y'all have an awesome day. I'm gonna hop off here and go do something else.